Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a brand new episode of Elets Innovation Talk. I'm Kaanchi Chawla, Senior Sub-Editor at Elets Technomedia, India's leading and largest B2B multimedia platform, proudly celebrating 21 years of excellence. For over 2 decades, Elets Technomedia has spearheaded transformative summits, driving innovation across governance, healthcare, education, and banking and finance sectors. Elite's Innovation Talk is our series dedicated to spotlighting trailblazing leaders and their groundbreaking contributions across industries. Today, we are thrilled to host a leader whose extensive experience and expertise have significantly shaped the realm of digital transformation and cybersecurity. Our guest today is Mr. Shibu Paul, who is the Vice President of International Sales at RN Networks. Welcome to the Innovation Talk, sir. So,
Thank you.
with over 25 years of experience in digital transformation, Mr. Paul has held pivotal roles in IT, IS, and telecom, contributing to organizations like Sifi Limited, British Telecom, and BT Americas. An alumnus of Bangalore University and Manipal Academy of Higher Education, he specializes in domains such as cloud computing, business alliances, product management, and customer relationship management. Joining Ari Networks in 2009, he has been instrumental in building robust operations, a strong technical team, and a solid operation infrastructure globally. Ari Networks itself is a global leader in application delivery and security solutions, with a rich legacy spanning over 2 decades. Headquartered in Silicon Valley, the company offers state of the art technologies that empower enterprises and service providers to streamline IT operations while ensuring unparalleled security and performance. So, thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. It's an honor to have you with us. So, to begin with, my first question that would be like Array Networks has consistently been at the forefront of delivering innovative solutions. So, what recent initiatives or product advancements are you particularly proud of, and how are they addressing the pressing challenges that businesses face today?
Thank you. And thank you for having me on this fantastic show. From to answer your question, I will take two approach. One is the initiatives, and second is the innovative solutions that we offer. I think initiatives always lead to the innovations. So we are one of the first uh, vendors, American vendors, who have identified the potential of Make in India, and hence we can proudly say that we are a 100% Make in India company. We have a engineering and R&D infrastructure based out of Bangalore, and then we have more than 100 engineers working on the product development. So earlier, when we were talking about product development, it was mostly around some features or around some support or around some bug fixing that companies like us used to get accomplished in India. But today we are in a situation where we are talking about complete product development, starting from A to Z, happening out of India. That I think is a great initiative that we have taken. I think we've identified this very early in our uh, presence in India. When we started way back in 2009, we had decided that given an opportunity, given an incentive for us to start in India, I think we will go full fledged out for India, because India is today one of the largest focus market for array way back in 2009. And today, when I look at our revenues, our global footprint, I think India plays a very significant role in terms of delivering services to array globally. So we have a full-fledged center where other than the sales and marketing, we have a tax center which supports globally. We have a engineering center which actually creates products, new products, and then um, a full-fledged management support that we have, and there's a lot of investment which is going into this country in terms of setting up a lab. So today we have one of the world-class labs. In fact, the lab that we have in India is the most modern lab for an ADC vendor to have, with all kind of testing equipments, everything ready and available, so that we can produce products that based out of India, which gives us the performance and the acceleration that we need in our products. Second is about collaboration. We are today uh, collaborating with a lot of Indian software vendors to create products whenever there is projects which require customization, which requires uh, you know services that I need engineers in a very short term. I think that is a very important requirement that this country has, and hence we have collaboration with a lot of these engineering companies, so that if we have to augment a particular skill for a project, then we collaborate with them and then work. So that platform is also ready. We work with a couple of companies in India to create that infrastructure. Third, and from a product perspective, yes, all our products are have been in the market for more than 20 years and running. Most of our customers have been. I think if you look at where our innovation plays a role uh, in today's environment, it is about our customers who've stayed with us for the last 15 years with our solutions. So most of these customers have had to upgrade um, their infrastructure multiple times. Uh, you know, so I think that is a testimony to the great support and infrastructure and the investment that we've made in the country. With respect to products, again, our focus is on application delivery controllers, as you rightly said, because today's infrastructure, whether it is a cloud infrastructure or whether it is a physical infrastructure, uh, the requirement for application delivery, application performance, application acceleration is increasing, ever increasing. In fact, we have a customer which is one of world's largest real-time payment systems in the world, and hence the requirements are ever evolving. The the usage, because of the government's initiative in the digital platforms and digital infrastructure, the usage growth in these platforms are increasing humongously. So I think we had to increase our performance. We have delivered devices which can perform much higher than any other any of our competitors. So we give a lot of emphasis on increasing the performance of the devices. Then we've launched a new solution called as array structure, which is nothing but the next level advanced DLP solution in the market. Currently, if you look at an infrastructure, in a corporate infrastructure or IT infrastructure, you will find customers using at least 5 to 6 different products to kind of uh, get to a comprehensive leakage prevention. But we have launched a comprehensive solution with one product which actually replaces all the 7 to 8 different products that they have into a single product. So I think that's a great innovation that we are talking about. We've seen that today encrypted traffic is going to be one of the largest growing traffic in an data center. So we've launched the SSL intercept solution, where how you can to avoid malicious attacks, encrypted attacks on your network, you need a device called as SSL intercept. I think that is a product that we are, you know, is helping a lot of organizations to kind of mitigate encrypted solutions. Then web application firewall, that we are seeing is a huge demand in the market, because most of the customers are finding that application attacks are one of the biggest what we've seen in the last couple of years, and it is only going to increase. So I think on all the products that we are increasing our product features, performance, especially performance and features, to kind of address all the most advanced threat we're talking about.
So I must say, like, the initiatives that are taken by you are truly recommendable, and they are contributing to the society. So moving on to my next question, that would be like human error that is a leading cause of security breaches, and especially during the holiday season when phishing attacks spike. So, how crucial is employee training in ensuring cybersecurity? And like, can you elaborate on specific awareness programs or initiatives like training initiatives that your organization has taken to mitigate such type of risk?
So one of the things that we have done is we've understood that today, if you look at any organization, how educated, I mean, IT and security remains with the realm of few people in the IT department. But when it comes to the lowest business and the other segment of employees, I think IT and security is not a great. So I think one of the most important things that we have always been advocating is about employee trainings, especially if you look at the amount of phishing attacks that we have seen last year is huge. But how many people are aware about phishing, the types of phishing? Because it is today not about just a random phishing. It is all contextual based, that you are working on something and suddenly something related to that context you get a phishing email. So one was that about having creating this awareness about phishing, making them understand what are the threat factors that can happen in an environment, in a network or in a customer environment. What happens if the customer data is lost? What happened, making them sensitive about the financial implication and the business implication of having a data theft or data loss, or something like a ransomware attack because of your then third is about how fast you should report an incident. We've seen that a lot of customers, lot of employees don't even report when there is a security breach, or when they feel there is a security breach. They think it is normal. They keep it by the time you know they realize and report it, it takes. So something like, how quickly can I ensure that the employees report these incidents? So one is about, especially about last year, what we have done is about awareness about phishing, awareness about what are the different ways of threats that we have, and how to report them, and the importance of reporting them quickly. So that is something that we have done, and then um, to ensure that this is done, we've worked very closely with DSCI, Data Security Council, where we have created simulations, typically for the phishing. Today, we feel that that is actually one of the most critical or easily penetrable security threats. So we have had phishing simulations to show that what are the different types of simulations that phishing attacks that could happen. Then having interactive workshops, I think that is a regular thing that we do, that we have interactive workshops with our customers. uh, we have training sessions with our existing customers, and where they share their problems with us, threats, or and then we do a workshops with them. And then we have created something like a simulated breach attacks, so that we can show them that what are the ways that I can get into your network, what time of the day that your network is more susceptible, and things like that. So that is something. And then one thing that we do is we have a regular, like whenever there is a incident which is either reported it with us or with our customers, we do something like a training or a session with the customer to address that particular issue, and then create a document that we share it to all the similar customers, that something like this has happened to one of your colleagues, so that and this is the paper. So we create something like a white paper which is then shared with the customers who are in the similar industry.
Well, that's great. Like making of white papers and distributing it, and even like you told us, like you give the training programs to the your customers as well. So I'm sure that that might help in building up the customer engagement as well. So that is a very great initiative that you are taking. Well, moving on, many organizations, especially those with legacy systems, they resist the cultural and operational shifts for digital transformation. So, what effective strategies have you seen or implemented to overcome such resistance, and what role does your leadership play in fostering a mindset that embraces innovation?
So one thing is digital transformation is no more a option. If you don't transform, if you don't innovate, then you are obsolete. So in most of the cases, I think that becomes irrelevant. I think most of the customers, or most of our customers that we know, are very well aware that if they don't transform and transform rapidly, they are going to be obsolete. Because if you look at the way the competition is no more from like to likes, in the sense, I was selling mobile phones, another mobile phone company can be tomorrow a electric company, electric car company, or so the paradigm is completely shifted. So if you don't have a nibble and a uh, transformative digital infrastructure, you are not in the game. So I think where the resistance comes from, I mean, this is as per me, I think resistance come from when there is no direction or a vision from the management, that why uh, are these necessary for us. So I think that is one very critical thing, where you can where you should establish a very clear vision and purpose, that if this is what's happening in our industry, this is what's happening in the technology world, and if we don't transform, and this is and this is why we are transforming. Hence, having a clear vision and establishing and sharing that with the team becomes a very important thing. Involving stakeholders, I think that is very important for any transformation, not only the digital transformation. That how do I involve stakeholders in the you know at an early stage, in making them aware of what we are planning to do, what the roadmap is, how it's going to change, how your the organization and the competition and the market landscape is changing, things like that. And then you create small pilot projects where, rather than putting everything in and launching in a big scale, you start with small silos. Like, I think a great example will be a lot of your NPCI, where they launched a small real time payment. And today, if you look at it, it is I mean, it involves everything. But I think starting a small pilot project, getting people used to getting people, I remember there was a lot of resistance for people to use mobile for real time payments, because because of the security issue, because of whether we don't know whether the payments are going to come, or what will happen in the back end and things like that. So I think having them, and definitely these are going to create cultural barriers. I think you need to have cultural champions in the organizations, in the various departments of the organization, who then can uh, promulgate the point that this is something which is constant. That digital transformation today, I've seen in the last 20-25 years how it has transformed. I started my career when I had to sell internet connection to people. Today, I think it is like air. I mean, it is given, it is taken for granted. People laugh. My kids laugh at me when we used to say that at one point in time in my career, I used to sell email. Today, email is a given thing. So transformation is constantly happening, and you've seen the organizations who don't transform at the right time will get obsolete for sure, especially in this world. So I think it is, to put everything in perspective, I think it is one is about the leadership. You need to have a visionary leadership as to who can see what is going to happen in the next 5-10 years. And this is, for any company. I look at Intel today, and, NVIDIA, I think is a great example that everybody takes. Today, Intel is almost like a nobody, and, NVIDIA has really taken off, because I think uh, though Intel was a leader for a long time, I think at some point in time they also missed the AI boat. I think they missed out the GPU, and I think having a visionary leadership is the most important thing. And then you need to have change agents within the organization. Having the change agents and empowering them to kind of drive this is very you know critical. Then creating an environment where people are comfortable, people are buy into the vision of the company. The Then I think it is very important. I think to be transparent in the organization. With transformation comes a lot of challenges. There comes a lot of uh, you know um critical issues, like what happens when uh, AI is going to take. I mean, today most of the organization are talking about AI. So I think I keep hearing from our engineering team, like, what how do you think AI is going to impact on our software development team? um, I mean, today it's a little earlier stage, but I think it is definitely going to have an impact on the people, the number of people I require, and to deliver some projects and things like that. So I think those are challenges. I think you need to be transparent to employees on that. And then creating an organization where you allocate right amount of resources, and who help you to remove barriers, you know to your transformation journey. I think that's very critical.
Well, truly said. And AI and digital transformation, like AI is here to stay. So not only the engineers, but it's going to impact every person. So very truly said that. So throughout your career, what was one of the most challenging decision you had to make, and how did you navigate it? So like, what lessons from that experience continue you to guide to guide you today?
Yeah, I think one, uh, I joined Array when I was working, when I had a very good job in the US. So I think coming to India, believing in the India story, I think was one of my, you know, it was very challenging for me, because convincing a set of people who are very comfortable, so that I think was a very good. Today, when I look back at my journey in Array, I see that that has paid off very well. Where we started, Array, when we started, we were not even in the 5% contributor to the overall revenue. From there, I think today we are almost 50 to 60% contributor to the revenue. Companies today looking forward to India to drive the entire organization in terms of revenue, in terms of. So I think that was one of the uh, good things, and one of the challenges that I faced in this career was about um, product development again. So we decided to start a company and create a product. So this is basically to give a challenging to challenge the challenges that you find in the see in the market of product development. So we had to create a product, especially in the zero trust space, because we were already in the remote access space, and we wanted to extend that from remote access to um, zero trust. So we created a product. Then you started working, but one uh, there were two parallel teams which were working. And so your management was like not fully committed to both the things. They thought if that clicks, I think it will. So we had spent a lot of money, resources, time on creating this new company and a new product. But then later we figured out that in spite of 2 years of time, and having spent a multi-million of dollars in development effort, we were not seeing a product that can compete in the market. And then we had to take a call. I think that was a very important decision in life, to kind of stop when things were not going right. And it was for you to sustain the main business, you had to cut off the small business. So I think that was a very challenging decision in my career. But I think it helped you to learn that the most important thing for you is to focus on things that you're doing and do it much better rather than spreading your wings, especially for a mid-sized company like us. uh, you know it is very critical that you focus on when something is doing very well and your customers are happy, you're growing uh, significantly, taking the money out of that and then putting in a new business thinking that it will create a new market for you. I think that was something not required. I think that is a good learning that we had from that instance. But I think the uh, other part of it is the tough decisions you have to take, the decisions you have to take to close a division which affects a lot of people who are working in that division and things like that.
Well, that was challenging, but at the end, it proved, good for you. It was a good learning. So I think that is a, great appreciation itself. So, moving on. So, measuring ROI for digital transformation, it is a challenge as it benefits often extend beyond traditional metrics. So, how does your organization assess the success of its digital transformation, and what key metrics or qualitative outcomes do you focus on?
So I think from our when I look at digital transformation, I look at from the first thing that I look at more than the revenue or the commercial aspects of it, financial metrics of it. I look at the um, how it has helped the organization from an operational perspective. I think that is today digital transformation. The fundamental thing is it radicalizes the way that you operate a today. If you look at how we order groceries, we don't I mean, I have not gone to a grocery shop for a long time. So it actually changes the operational methods. So I think operational metrics is like a very critical, where we are talking about how processes are improved. Today I stay in a complex where I have a grocery store downstairs. It takes 30 minutes for me if I order there. It takes 30 minutes for them to deliver. We are in the same complex. But if I order with somebody like a this quick commerce kind of companies, they deliver within 7 to 10 minutes. So I think process efficiency is the crux of this one, the most important thing in the whole digital transformation. Then how you can reduce your downtime, because when you're talking about digital and you're already in the digital highway. Now if you don't know how to reduce your downtime, it is directly proportional to your business. For that matter, if I don't get a paytm, I try do a paytm, and then if it doesn't work, then I mean I'm not going to wait for that to work again. I close and then open up a Google Play or some other payment mechanism to do. So it's a opportunity cost. So I think one of the most important thing is how do my how do I ensure that I reduce the downtime of my infrastructure or my application, so that I can, so that actually helps you to again increase your operational efficiency. Third is the, like I said, scalability and agility. When we started talking about digital real time payments in India, I remember in 3 years back, I mean not even 3, I think pre COVID, the numbers were not that great. So we've had a situation in few of our customers where we had to upgrade their boxes multiple times in a year, because what they forecasted as a growth was much the growth, actual growth was much higher than what they forecasted. So they had to upgrade the box. I think that actually is a very important thing for OEMs like us, as well as for the vendors, I mean for the providers, because scalably, if you're not able to scale after a certain point in time, your story is going to be like BlackBerry, where the so I think that's a very important story, a very important point where you're talking about scalability and agility. So I think that's and I think all this digital transformation stories have to be linked to customer focus. How has it impacted your end customer? Has your customer satisfaction gone up? uh, you know are you able to retain more customers? Is customers sticking with you for a longer period of time? Are they spending more money uh, you know in your application? So I think is a very important thing. Lastly but not the least is how it has transformed or how it has helped your employees and their it could be uh, employee retention, employee engagements, how employees are trained to accept these digital tools, and how effectively are you able to train them to to be part of this whole transformation journey. So I think that is more. And then obviously you have, at a very high level, I think financial metrics are very critical, where you're talking about how much revenues have we grown, how profitable we have grown, how much of costs we have gained, productivity, and how fast you've been able to market because of this transformation. I think those are very tangible results, I mean metrics that you look forward. So I think it's a combination of all that, that when you look at, I think from my perspective, I think it is customer, from operational, because if you have an efficient operational metric, I think you will gain customers if you're customer focused. And then having a strong employee focus, which will definitely have impact on your financial metrics.
Very rightly said, sir. So like organizations like often face a trade-off between investing in advanced load balancing solutions and managing their budgets. So how do you guide clients in balancing cost effectiveness with the need for high performance and reliability?
So I think you look at, I mean it's a very tough question, because solutions like ours are at a uh, but then we have to show the value. I think from our perspective, I think we look at, uh, we start selling from a value point, in terms of that, what value do we bring in by having my application, uh, you know devices in your infrastructure. How fast, how available are your applications? Like, when we are talking about ADC, it is critical for you to give, as I told you about downtime, right? You cannot afford to have a downtime. So ADC is one of the most critical devices that allows you to ensure that there is no downtime in your infrastructure. So I think that is a big value. Second is about, by having, today if you look at the crypto world, or if you look at your um applications, I think encryption standards are going up. Today we're talking about TLS 1.3. Now, with the encryptions going up and up and higher, I think it will have an impact on your um, devices to perform the number of the encryption and decryption. So I think by having a device like Array, ADC, how am I able to provide that acceleration? Because the moment if you take out my device and put SSL certificate on your website, I think your system is not going to work. So I think that. So I think to answer your question, I think we do a value selling in terms of what is the value that we bring in, or what is that will happen to you if our devices are not deployed in your system. Probably you might have to have another 10 more servers, 20 more servers. The cost of the having so many servers versus having our devices, which will give much more features than, so that is the most critical thing. If you're talking about, one is about application availability, second is about, when you have a DC and a DR center, how do I ensure that the DC and DR are available? If one DC center is off, how am I able to provide the DR automatically? Those are the kind of values that we bring in when we are talking about our solutions. And the lastly but not the least, that if any security breach in your organization, it costs a lot of money. A simple we were doing a research. I think there is nobody who has done anything less than a 50 to 60. I mean, I'm talking about a medium enterprise. I'm not even talking about large banks and things like that. I'm talking about a medium enterprise which is serving customers. Have to spend anywhere between 50 to 1 cr today to, if there has been a breach, if the, for you to do a simple forensic audit, ensure that there is nothing breach happened, those kind of things. I'm just talking about a very very high level. Will so there is a cost of money involved in all of that. So if my devices can avoid all that, help you to you know prevent all that, I think that is the value that we bring in.
Well, that's good to hear. And moving on to my last question. So, like, given your extensive experience in sales and technology, what advice would you offer to aspiring leaders aiming to excel in international business or the cybersecurity industry? So, what qualities are most critical for long term success in this field?
Yeah, I think that's a very large question. It's like a uh, 20 mark question for an MBA. But I think from our perspective today, I think being an Indian today, I think world is looking forward to you. So, today from sitting in Bangalore, I look at the international business for Array, covering, Middle East, Africa, Europe, India, SARC. So I think having a global mindset is very important today for a leader in India, because you're no more serving only your customers. I think you should talk about uh, you know how culturally you have to integrate. You need to have a cultural sensitivity, understanding the global customs, global languages, and the geopolitical and economic factors which is happening in the so I think having a global mindset is a very 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 important thing today for today's leaders. uh, Again, some of the basic is, you should, I mean, today's leaders cannot uh, be not aware about technology. I think business acumen is something that all most of the leaders, if you have come to that segment, you have it. But I think understanding the technology landscape, what is happening in that, is very ultra critical for you, because everywhere I think trends are changing. uh, when you're talking, any aspect, if you're looking at, technology is making so much of change. It is going to be like this for another 20-25 years and more, is what I feel. So I think having a strong foundation on technology is going to be very important. uh, your ability to communicate to your team, as I said, you might be a great visionary, but if you're not able to communicate to your team, I think that is going to be a very disastrous. So I think having a great communication skill is a very important priority for leaders of today. um, and then um, in a market that, I think what is most fundamental in leaders from Asia is our relationships. I think we value relationships at a core. So I think that has to be upheld. I think today, when I look at my global partners and global customers, I feel that is a very important point. Where, when they look at India, they see the warmth in the relationship and how we are sensitive to their cultures and all that. I think that's a very important thing. So having a good uh, ability to build good relationships and convert them into revenues and business is, I think, very critical for today's uh, managers. Then last is about integrity and ethical. I think today that is something that, as a leader, that is something that I would like to communicate to people, that you need to be integrity and ethical business practices should be sacrosanct in your business. I think that should be something that is communicated from top to bottom. Being transparent, being in, those are things that are never compromised. I think that is very critical. And then the most important, becomes your investment in a team. I think you need to have a good leader is only when you have large, high performing members in your team. So you are as good as your team. So I think having a high performing team is a very important factor. Building that team and cultivating that team is a very important factor for any of the leaders which are coming now. I think so. That I think is the most you know few of my thoughts around the leadership.
Well, that was so enlightening, and I am pretty sure that this will be, very encouraging for our audience to hear. So, thank you so much for sharing your insights and giving us this opportunity to host you today. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, that brings us to the end of another enriching episode of Elit's Innovation Talk. And a very big thank you to Mr. Shibu Paul for his time and valuable insights. Your cybersecurity and digital transformation expertise has provided like immense value to our audience today.
Thank you, and it's my pleasure.
Thank you, sir. So, for more such inspiring conversations with industry leaders, stay connected with Elit's Innovation Talk. Until next time, stay innovative, stay inspired, and continue driving change. Thank you, and see you in next episode. Thank you.